Hey gang, it's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. And today we're talking about you are trying too hard. You are trying too hard. So I got an email today. Actually, well, it was an email, but it was about somebody rescheduling for an interview we're going to do. And the reason they were rescheduling was because they felt like they didn't know what they wanted to talk about, which is super common. So if you're listening to this, you know who you are. It's all good. No worries. This is so common. I've had other clients in our agency who have shown up for us to record content, and they're like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about today. And a lot of times what happens is that they're trying too hard. I had this example pop up for me when you ever go to a store, a clothing store, and it has just so many clothes that you don't know how to focus. You can't focus. And so you're trying to find something. In the metaphor here, you're trying to find some content. But because there's so much around you, you're trying to find a specific thing and you can't see it because your eyes are too focused. And if you could unfocus your eyes and kind of scan the room of clothes with your eyes unfocused, you could actually start to see colors and shapes and things that would lead you to the answer you're trying to find. Well, similarly in your content, right? What's up, Maggie? And similarly in your content, when you're looking for something to say today, right? Well, let me say this. Let me start with this. Like, what I'm going to suggest is that your content lives in the life that you're living. The content you're trying to find lives in your life that you're living. Like, life teaches you every day something. And oftentimes you don't see the lesson as a piece of marketing because you're so focused on, there's so much that happens in a day of your life. And so when I just got done with a client, I sat down, I'm like, I'm going to do my video right now. And I thought, but I don't know what I want to say right now. And I just had to soften my mind, right? Not try to look so hard for what do I want to say? What do I want to say? What do I want to say? But I just softened. And I'm like, what has happened in my day so far? I remembered the email that came in rescheduling the one appointment because the person said they didn't know what they wanted to talk about. And I said, that is the post. That's today's post. Because I know that a lot of you struggle with trying to find content and be consistent in your marketing. And that's hard. It's hard to be consistent in marketing if you don't know what you're going to say. So I want to give you a couple places to look for what I call content sparks, things that spark inspiration for you to create content. So the first one is in the problems of your people. Every day, if you are in business for yourself and you are helping other people, every day you are present to what your people are struggling with. And there are different, so it's not just the problems, but there are nuances to problems. So if you can find a problem and then go in deeper into all the different nuances, all the nuance are separate episodes or separate posts, right? So look into the problems of your people and create content that speaks to that problem. This post today is an example of that, right? One of the problems that people have is not knowing what to say. I saw that in that email, and here I am creating a post about it. Okay. Another place to look in your life are the things that inspired you today. So one place is to look at the problems your people are having. Actually, you could also dovetail that into the questions that your people are having. The second place is the inspirations you had today. Did you read a book and it inspired you? Did you listen to a podcast and something popped? Were you having a moment with your family and you were inspired by the moment? You're like, this is what life is for. Those are sparks, right? Now you have to find the message in it. And sometimes the message, this is probably a good distinction here, but the message for you to share gets clearer when you understand why your people are stuck. So if I say, well, I really had a good connection with my family today. This is what life is for. Why does that matter? Why does that matter in marketing? Because most people are too busy to be present with their family and have that type of experience of family. When you have the experience of your family like, this is what life is for, that's a good moment. Most people don't have that moment. So for you to create a post reminding people what it's all really for, because you were just fresh off a great experience where that happened for you, that's a great place to find inspiration for your post. So we've got, number one, we've got the problems of your people and or the questions. We've got the inspirations in your life today. What inspirations happened in your life today? Okay, now, another place to look are your own struggles. Where are you struggling? What are you wrestling with? And what is the lesson in that for you? And if you could realize that, you would realize that that is also a lesson for us. Your struggles are our struggles. So sometimes people hate. I think that's accurate and fair. I think people hate being too vulnerable in their marketing because we hate looking like we don't have it all together. So the idea of you sharing something that you're wrestling with could be a very intimidating idea. But it's actually in you sharing where you're struggling that it gives us permission to acknowledge our own struggle. I often reference the series I did a year ago, right, on when I was unhappy. And I didn't have an answer. And it was a 6-part series. And I just talked about how I was unhappy and what I was noticing about it. So sometimes you can share where you're stuck and what you're noticing about it, because it's in what you're noticing that becomes instructive for us. When you show us what you saw, what you noticed, it gives us an opportunity to look at our life from the same lens. It was funny in that 6-part series that a lot of people reached out to me because they felt free to just, right, be stuck and unhappy. So the third place to look here is in your own struggle. Where are you struggling? Now, when you share your struggles, don't share your struggles in a way that leaves us concerned for you and like feels like a victim, right? You're going to say, hey gang, look, here's what I'm wrestling with right now. It's not working for me, but here's what I noticed. And it's when you say, here's what I noticed, that makes that content valuable to me. Okay? All right. That's it. I'm going to give you those 3 places to look for content, but you get those sparks every day. And what you have to do is, rather than trying to look so hard for it, you just have to relax into and get present to and let the day wash over you for the lessons that you learned. Maggie said, today I was inspired by an Eckhart Tolle teaching, peace amidst the struggle and the power of now. Yeah. You shared it on Facebook Live. That's perfect. I love it, right? I love it. So good. There's inspiration all around you every day. And here, I'll leave you with one more thought. Sometimes you feel like you don't know what to say because you feel like an imposter. In other words, you can't really say it, even though you were inspired by it. You can't say it until you have some track record of climbing 50 mountains. What I want to suggest, what I'll leave you with, is that the game of marketing is not about you having all the answers. That is an old school mentality of marketing. Marketing in the tribal economy, marketing in this day and age, is not about you having all the answers. It's about you sharing your light, because it is your light shared with me that has me see something for myself, right? Light casts out darkness. So when you share your light, that does something for me. You as a marketer, you as a business person, you as a human are a conduit. You are a messenger. You are a mirror reflecting to me. You don't have my answers. Only I have my answers. So how could you possibly have my answers? How could you possibly have the answers? All you could possibly have are your answers. Those are the only answers you have access to. And every day you get answers about something for you. You just feel like your answers aren't valid for me. And in some way you're right, but you're misconstruing how to use it. You share your answers with me because it reflects something to me to find my own answer, not because your answer is what's right for me. And that's what stops you, I think, sometimes. You think, I don't have anything earth-shattering that would change somebody's life, so I don't know what to say. And all of a sudden, that is you putting yourself in the seat of trying to have my answers for me. You can't do that. You don't have my answers. You only have yours. So when you share your answers with me, the answers life has given you, the inspirations life has given you, when you shine your light with me, it allows me to find my own answers. That takes all the pressure off. Guys, it takes all the pressure off of marketing when you realize that you're just a messenger. You are a conduit. You are a mirror reflecting. Okay? Maggie says, conversations with family, friends, clients, and colleagues are a great place for inspiration. Totally. Such wisdom for rich conversation. Yes, I agree with you, Maggie. Thank you. Well, here's to all of you. If you want a proven model for how to find content, right? How to take your marketing and your content to the next level that inspires people and creates impact. I have our 6-week program with me called the Groundswell Method Intensive. And if that's interesting for you, you can start with my free course called Marketing for the Rest of Us, the course. Okay. On the last page of the free course is an application for the 6-week program. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Here's to you finding your spark today.